Okay, what I'd like to do is to do this problem together. It says, suppose C is directly proportional to the square of D. If C equals 45 when D equals phi, find the constant of proportionality and write the formula for C as a function of D. Use your formula to find C when D equals 5. That's the end of the first problem that they actually want me to do. So I'm going to go back and forth between this and this. It's going to be slow, but we can do this. C is directly proportional to the square of D. So I want to write that down first. Here we go. I want C is directly proportional to the square of D. So that's what they told me first. Now let's go back to what the problem said. It then said, if C equals 45 when D equals 3. So I'm going to go back. So C is 45 when D equals 3. So I'm just going to plug in those and see what happens. So I put a 45 over here. I don't know K yet. When D is 3, I get 3 squared. Yes. So K equals 5. That's 40. How will we write the whole thing out? 45 over 9 equals 5. So we can at least write the formula out. We're going to write that C is equal to 5 D squared. I'm going to go back and see what else they were asking me to look at. They said, use your formula to find C when D equals 5. So what I'm going to do is just come back over here, and I'm going to say, when D equals 5, C is going to be 5 times 5 squared equals 125. And that's usually as hard as it gets when they actually tell me what the proportion formula might look like, and they give me enough information to find the constant. Now, the second part of the problem said, do the first part again, except when C is inversely proportional to D squared. So I'm just going to erase the work I did, based here. They still want C equals 45 when D equals 3, but they no longer want C being directly proportional to D squared. They want C being inversely proportional to D squared. So what I really want right here is inversely proportional means D squared goes down to the bottom, like that. Now we still should be able to find K. I have a feeling it's going to be a lot worse, but here we go. What do we know? We know that C equals 45. So this is going to be K, right? D squared goes down here, like this. So K is going to be 9 times 45 in this case. I guess that wasn't much worse. And that's going to be 405. So as last time, I can write down that C is equal to 405 over D squared. That's what the equation would look like if C had been inversely proportional to D squared. Now remember, the second thing they asked was, find C when D equals 5. So I'm just going to write down when D equals 5, C is going to be 405 over 25. I can divide the top and bottom by 5, so I'm just going to get 81 over 5 like that, which is a perfectly good answer, as long as it actually shows up on the screen. And this is something like, what, 20.2? Does that sound right? 16.2. Anyways, dangerous to do arithmetic when you haven't practiced. Anyways, that's as hard as it gets when C is inversely proportional, and they give us enough information to find the constant, and then they ask us to use that for other things. Now it's your turn.